Alright, what's up, guys? Good morning. Today we've got Foxo running. It ran up yesterday, well, I guess Friday, in the post market here from 13 cents to a high of 20. Then we saw it today going from about 17 to a high here of almost 30. So I'm expecting to see this continue to move up, but we'll probably have to wait for maybe a drop back down to 26 or 25 before we take an entry on it. We've got CHNR. Kind of similar story here. Friday ran up from 218 to 356 today. However, is looking a little bit more grim as it consolidates back down. We could see it consolidate back down towards that 256 area. If it starts dropping below that, we might have a little bit of a problem. I don't really want to see it fall into this area. But yeah, we'll watch it and keep an eye on it and see what happens. We've got ALLR as well going from 270 to a high here, 380 in the pre-market, so it's looking pretty good. We are around that 200 on the 1 minute, so we have an area of support here. On the 5 minute, it's kind of far away, but it lines up with our support here at 295. So if we do see a big drop, it's still playable. BTTX doesn't have a ton of volume, doesn't have a ton of price action right now, but just keeping an eye on it. SPCB was looking good here earlier, went from about $1.03, ran up to $1.55, back down to that around that $1.10, $1.12 area. We are right in support here, so again, we'll be probably waiting to see it break. And then we've got TUP, which has had okay volume, okay price action, 307 to a high here of 344. Just waiting for market to open in about 5 seconds here. So we'll most likely be watching Foxo here because I kind of want to see it dump, but we'll have to give it a second and see if it can do that for us. And we'll watch CHNR to see if it breaks down. ALLR is kind of sitting in a decent area right now, so I think we're actually probably going to take a play on ALLR right now. So 325 if you can. If you have to get it a little higher, that's fine too. We're going to go for about 370 with it. And then we'll just go with the 315 stop because we don't really need a huge stop. In fact, you could probably, honestly, almost move that up to 320 if you want, especially if you're already up. Ooh, that's a weird placement for this. I need to move that. Yeah, right there. We're at 343, so if you jumped in on ALLR, make sure you trim. So I'm going to say trimming profits, ALLR, about 345-ish. Somewhere up there is going to be good. Okay. This is ALLR. We went to around 345. Looking good. It is back down now. I'm expecting a stop out at this point. We'll come back to that though. CHNR is bouncing. We do have Foxo, so it didn't give us the entry we wanted. We kind of wanted to break back down towards 26. It didn't give it to us. It is moving up. We can try a play here on Foxo, see what happens. I'm going to go for 0.30 if we can, somewhere on that scale. We're going to go for 35 with a 29 stop. So it's going to be just a 1 cent stop. We'll see what happens. We very well could come back down and just hit stop, but I think it's worth it with something like this that we got to risk that. ALLR hasn't stopped us out yet, but definitely heading towards there, so you can cut early if you want. SPCB, I'm not sure if it's going to run again, but we are on an area of support here, so I think it's good if we give it a shot. So 108, we're going to go for, I'd like to say 130 off this with maybe a 104 stop. I'm going to make it 103 just to give me a little bit more room down here. Okay, ALLR didn't stop us out. For some reason, it decided to bounce off that area, and it's back up to break even or better. It does look like CHNR wants to maybe break through this area of resistance. We didn't quite make it to that dead zone, which is good. That's what we want to see. Foxo right now is heading towards that 30. So if you hit 30 and you get in, you could even wait for 29, see if you can get in 29. But if you do get 30, make sure you start trimming at 31. So I'll say trimming Foxo 0.31 and 0.32 and so on. Okay, not looking too bad. ALLR coming back down a little bit. We've got CHNR back down towards that dead zone. SPCB is holding that 108 area. You could wait for a little bit more of a drop if you want. I'm not sure if you'll get it. It's cold in here this morning. I left the window open last night. That was a silly mistake. So top's been all over the place while we've been busy with other stuff here. If we hit this 329 area, this could be a good spot to maybe pick it up. It is quite the range, 319 to 345. So yeah, I mean 330, 345. It's getting a little tight there. Maybe we wait for a little bit more of a drop. I'd like to maybe see it back down to like 320. Foxo it does hit our stop, so if you were waiting for 29 or 28 for an entry, it's looking good. If you got it at 30, you got your first trim, and then that was it. You might have gotten a second trim here. Okay, so SPCB is still holding that area nicely. Foxo's back up to 29. I'm going to try Foxo again here, because I do think that it's probably good to go. So I'm going to try from 28. We'll go for like 30. Yeah, 35 is still good. And then a 27 stop. So again, just giving it that 1 cent because we don't really... The next area of support is down at 25. And I really don't want to see it all the way back down there. So I'm hoping that we see a bounce off of this for more than 1 or 2 cents. I want to see like 5 cents off it. But again, trim every cent. Just to hedge your risk. CHNR's down. We've got ALLR finally stopping us out. It did make its way back up to that 330 area, but it is down to stop, so we're going to go ahead and take that stop. And I'm trying to figure out if there's another area here we should be watching. So we're breaking down from the major support area. We've got this gap to fill down. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything. The best thing to look for is this 295 area. So we'll leave it be for now. Foxo's falling down, so if you were looking for an entry, 27.28 looking good. SPCB still holding. TUP. Wow, that was a nasty drop. We're right back down to this area of support here, so I'm going to actually jump in on top here. It could continue falling, but I'm going to give it the shot, probably 312. We're going to go for that 345 zone. Not a huge range on this, and then maybe just a $3 stop. You could make that 302 if you want. I'm just going for the hard stop at $3. So we'll see what happens with that. Foxo holding 27. So if you got in 27, you're going to move your stop down 26. Took a late entry there, so it's going to be 26, which kind of doesn't really make much sense because we're right on VWAP, but you know, you got to give it some sort of room. Can't really afford to give it more room either, so it is what it is. This PCB is not doing much. Top's back up 318 after hitting 312 there. So we're looking for probably 322 for our first PT on this. And Foxo at 28. So if you got in 27, make sure you're taking some at 28. If Foxo doesn't work out, we might be looking for a bounce off VWAP. That's one area we could keep an eye on. Also 29, so make sure you get a trim at 29. Just actually alert that. Trimming. Foxo 28 and 29. Just tapping 29. 28.99, so close. All R's all the way up now, all the way up to 335. So it didn't actually break down all that much further than our stop, which is good to see. Maybe we try picking this back up around 318. The range on this is kind of okay. It's not fantastic. We're kind of stuck with all these things with like not great range. SPCB just broke down, so we're just going to stop out on that. There's not much room for support down here, so no point in picking it back up somewhere down here. At least not until we hit this 96 cent area, but even then, I mean, most of our liquidity today has been above this point, so it's kind of tough to say. On the 5 minute, it does look like it's pulling back up, so yeah, we might have just gotten wicked out on this. We just touched 28.98 again, so somewhere around there is good for a trim. ALLR back down, so this is kind of the area we're looking at in ALLR. I'm kind of iffy with the stocks today. We're gonna try ALLR again. 318. Yeah, around 318. Go for 350, and what was the low here? The low was 313, so we'll just give it 310 for a stop. It's a fairly tight stop, but it's because I'm not like super confident in this stock to actually make that push past this 333 area, and we might just continue the breakdown from here. We just saw it retest this area, so yeah, not super confident in it, but I want to give it a shot just in case it pops up. Foxo back down a little bit. SPCB, yeah, we just got wicked out on that. That sucks. Top is still holding this area, so we're consolidating in this area. I'm hoping we don't see a drop below this 312. So if you start to see a drop between 312 and like 310, if you see it lower than 310, I'd probably say just cut there. So you could actually, if you want, you could move your stop up to like 310, 309, something like that. And we'll see what happens with that. CHNR is back down. Yeah, we haven't been touching this because it's sitting so close to this dead zone and not really giving us much reason to buy into it. So especially when you look at this on a larger time frame here on the 15-minute, you can see it's just downtrending all morning. So maybe at some point today it'll be worth playing. Right now it doesn't look it. Foxo drops to 26. Not low enough to stop us out, but low enough to scare us a little bit. So yeah, we're looking for that entry on ALLR. 318, something like that. SPCB, it's going to make the move I wanted it to make. It's just not doing it with us in it. We're at 320 here on top. You could take a little trim here on top if you want. Just say trimming top 320. Up there it is right there, 322, 323. Something like that. ALLR is bouncing around still. CHNR, yeah, we tapped that dead zone, but it looks like it's popping back up, probably for another dead cat bounce. I wouldn't expect us to break above 265, but we'll see. Foxo is holding nicely off of this VWAP, which looks like it's moved up a little bit, so we might be safe with our stop here, but it's pretty tight. SPCB is still sitting there. BTTX not doing anything. All right, let's see here. Top's under SSR, that's good. Let's see. Go probably like 328 for that next trim. I usually wouldn't put it so close on the stop. I want at least 10 or 12 cents before the next trim, but because we got so much resistance here leading up to 328, I think that's probably a good spot to try and take a little bit more. ALLR is at 323 right now. So on ALLR, if you got 318, you're probably looking at like 332 for your first trim, which is pretty high up here. But again, the range just isn't that great on this, so you kind of have to space out your trims a little bit. Foxo 27 and holding. Anything new? EJH is popping up as one of the top gainers. Pre-market looks pretty good. Honestly, this looks pretty decent. We could probably find half decent levels to play off of here. Maybe. Might have some sort of support in this area. There's nothing really... Yeah, there's no other super clear levels here. But that gives us something to work with, so we'll keep an eye on EJH. Got Yell popping up. Yell looks half decent as well, so we've got a couple things popping up right now that are looking good. The problem with this one is we have no support for a while, so... maybe down here. Yeah, we'll have to wait a little bit. Maybe we take a VWAP bounce or something. Yeah, there goes SPCB making the move I wanted to make. We've got top here moving up to that 325 area. Not quite there for that next trim. EJH is down a little bit, so we are looking to see maybe a bounce off 18. Yeah, so I think that's... I'm going to put that at running EJH off 18. We're going to go for 22 with a 17 stop. We're kind of in that area where I don't really... Not a huge fan of playing these because I don't like going less than a full cent on the stop, but we're almost at the point where you kind of have to. Oh, whoops. That did not... Don't know how that got there. That was supposed to go at 17. AJH. ALLR's dropping a little bit. We've got Foxo here reaching 28 again. SPCB holding. Tops. Yeah, it's kind of making that move that we want to see. 327, 328 is probably where you want to take a trim. EJH bouncing off 19. You could get in 19 if you want. 18 might be safe. We're at the very bottom of 18. You're real close to VWAP though, which is usually a decent bounce point. Yell is back down a little bit here, so yeah, I guess we're really looking for this to come down to at least $1 before we really seriously consider it. We got other things we could watch too. SPCB's really not... If you picked it up at 103 and brought it to 114, that would be pretty decent, but the volume doesn't look great on this, so I think we're going to try and find something else, maybe MNK. MNK's looking pretty decent too. We got 114 to 140. Okay, so, I mean, this could be the bottom of a bounce here. That's definitely something we could keep an eye on. That was not the right color. Yeah, we're going to have support here. Maybe some support there. Or resistance there for sure. Well, we've got actually some pretty defined levels, which is good. I think actually right here you might find a little bit of support as well. So we're going to watch this because this one looks pretty good too. Yell breaking down a little bit further than anticipated. We are seeing a pop up to 326 here on top. We did see quite a bit of selling pressure in the last couple candles and a lot of buying pressure on the dip, so we were very close. 327, this is going to be close to our trim point, so you're going to say trimming. Top 328-ish. There's 328 right there, right on resistance. 330, 331 with breakthrough, 332. You could trim anywhere here. I know it's not like super far from where we just took another trim, but actually we're getting there now. Now we're getting there. 335, I'll take a trim here. Yeah, that top band started to open up, which is good to see, but again, getting a little skeptical. We're going to break 340. Back down to 26. Looks like it's stopping us out on Foxo, but we made a couple cents off Foxo, so not the worst thing in the world. Did we make a couple cents? Yeah, we did. Okay, I could deal with that. Do we try it again? That is the question. We are sitting on VWAP. We are already negative. Things are looking like it could pop up. 1 minute, we're pretty close to 200. I think I'm going to chance it again on Foxo. As long as we're making a little bit of money off this every time, I don't see the problem with that. 26. We're going to try for 30. We're not going to try for 34 or anything. We'll try for 20 or 30 right now, but 25 stop. 25 will get us to the next area of support. Not quite the 200 though. So if we do break down and stop out, there's one more chance if we bounce off the 200 here that we could be watching. So we'll keep that in mind. ALLR broke down, so we didn't make any money off ALLR. But this is why I was saying we're moving our stop up to this 310 area. You don't need it any lower than that. Top breaks up to just about, actually almost to that 340 area though. Skeptical about MNK is coming back down a little bit, but we're kind of seeing in an area of support at 330 or 138. Not really super great, to be honest. It's kind of up a little too high. Gel's looking good for maybe a play here. We did dip down to that 18-cent area on EJH, so anywhere here is going to be good to buy in. If you got 17, congrats, that's an even better entry. It does look like it's going to be moving back up now, which is good. So if you got 17, make sure you take a trim here at 18. You definitely want to be trimming every cent on that Yell. I'm going to try a Yell trade as well. So we're going to be going for $1. Going to go for $1.20 and then 0.96 stops. So we're only giving it about 4% here. Now the problem is we could see another dip back down here, but I guess that's a chance we just have to take. Foxo's not looking too bad. Foxo at 26. We got Yell at $1. Top's holding 330, so we're coming back down a little bit. We're looking for probably 340 for that next 340, 342, something like that. EJH is holding 18, almost up to 19. Yell's holding $1 pretty decently here. If you can get lower than $1, that's obviously going to help your case. By how much, I don't know. Guess we'll see. Foxo's at 27.5, so if you got in 26, make sure you're taking some profit here. 27. You can probably take some more 28. So I'm going to say trimming Foxo 27. Yell's 103. So you know what? If you got in 99 or $1, you're going to trim here. Trimming Yell 104. I don't think we hit 105, but 104 sounds pretty good. Back down to 99, tops down. We got EJH making that push. Do we see 19 there? We did see 19 there, so that was our next trim on EJH. Foxo back down 26. This does look like it's going to start to curl up, which is exactly what we want to see. MNK is down pretty good here, so not quite, still not an area we can really take a play off of. I'm kind of thinking we got to come down to 128. Top's still doing its thing. Yells at $1 still, so we're not doing too bad on these things. Things are moving a little slow, but man, we're only 20 minutes in and things are already slow. MNK showing signs of buying pressure, so that could be not the worst thing in the world. There's not really a lot of orders coming through, though. That's a lot of sell orders, that's for sure. This is new. They've got like a little tab here between the DOM and order screen, which is weird because you can place orders off the DOM screen, so not really sure why you'd have an order screen, but it is what it is. Top looks like it's coming back up. You could pick up some more top here around 320 if you want to. I think it's still a little risky if you're not picking it up at this 313 level. We've got EJH back down, but it's still looking okay at this point. Yeah, we're doing okay. Yell stopped us out on the remainder. Did we make money on Yell? A little bit. I still think it's going up, though. That's the thing. I think we need to buy back in on Yell. So I'm going to go back in on Yell at 0.98. I'm going to go for that $1.20 area. and a 0.95. We'll give it 3 cents this time. I actually should have given that 9.4, but that's okay. If you jumped back in on Yell there, or if you didn't get stopped out, make sure you're taking some profit. I don't know why my my ledger changed colors there, but we're taking some profit here, 110. That's for sure. Trimming Yell, 110. So that was a nice pop. That's basically what I expected to see. We got wicked out the first time, so had to jump back in pretty quickly to manage to actually secure that profit, but it was worth the stop out, obviously. Foxo looks like it's consolidating. It is still holding on the right area, so we're fine, I think. MNK is almost at that VWAP line, so this is kind of the area we could be looking at taking the play on this. 128 to 138 is going to be basically the range we have, so yeah, I guess let's try it. MNK 128, 138, and a 124 stop. We'll give it 4 cents. You could probably give it a little bit more, but honestly, I don't think it's needed. Especially if you got in higher, you won't really be able to give it much more room than that. Yell's at 111. Actually moved up to 115. You could trim Yell anywhere here again. Yell 115. Man, my wrist hurts. I don't know what the hell I did to it. Foxo breaks down 25, so this is not really what we wanted to see. We're not really able to break bullish here on any time scale. It looks like 15 minutes still looks pretty bullish, but that's to be expected on anything that ran. Yeah, we could be seeing a little bit more of a dip. Well, I'm not going to cut it. We'll just wait and see what happens. We're at 135 here on MNK from 129. I'm going to take a small trim. I think that's about 3%. MNK 135. We'll see how that goes. Foxo still holding on. We've got EJH still holding on. It yells at 120. We're going to trim again. So we picked a good area. Oh, wow, 124. Okay. Nice. Are we halted on Yell now? We got to be halted. Just waiting for it to pop up. There it is, 656. So we've got, yeah, we're looking at like 701 for unhalt. Yeah, EJH breaks down. We still made some money on EJH, but not a ton again. Do we dare touch it again? I think it's one of those things that is going to come back as well. I think Yell's going to probably pop up to 135 here. Foxo with a nice pop to 27 again, which is where we already took our trim, so we're actually waiting for 28. BTTX we can close down. I think we can close down ALLR as well. And I'm sure we have other things to look at. MYMD. Wow, that was a big gap up on open. Hasn't really seen much since. 135. Actually, that's still not a bad range. This is like, should be a lot wider. 135 to 152 is pretty decent, actually. I don't know. This just looks too weird to me to actually want to play it. EJH could go for a bounce here at 16, and we might see this back up to 20. That would be fantastic, actually, if that happened. 5 minutes. We're bouncing up to 20. I'm going to give EJH another try here. EJH 16, 20, and then a 15 stop. So, I mean, yeah. We're not going to quite make it down to that 200, but that seems to be the theme of the day. I think we're fine, though. It looks like it's going to bounce. I'll take that chance. MyMed has a good range to it, but it doesn't have a lot for us to go off of. CHNR, yeah, GDRX we could take a look at. Oh, but it's like $8. I don't want to do that. So yeah, this is the only other thing that popped up. Ooh. EJH at the bottom of 16, so you could wait a little longer. You might even be able to get it. If you can get a 15 entry and you can put your stop at 14, that would probably be best case scenario. EJH. So MNK actually moved up to that 140 area, which was supposed to be our, even a little bit past our PT, to be honest. So, yeah, anywhere there was a good place to trim. So, I mean, if you're still holding on to this, it still looks pretty decent. It's just a matter of if we can break out of this range, right? We need to see that break out a little more. Foxa moved up to 28, so not a bad place to trim. Foxa 128. Oh, not 128, just 0.28. Wish it was 128, but that probably won't happen today. EGH still not breaking down from 16, but I mean, at this point, you could probably wait it out. It'll probably get rejected off this 16 and come down a little bit, and then, yeah, I think you could get a 15 off it. So this is, we shouldn't see MYMD break down any further than this. Am I already in EJH? No, I'm waiting. I think it's, well, now see, now we got the pop back up. Maybe 16's the right answer. I don't know. It looks like when it breaks down this far that it should be able to break down at least a little bit more, so. Although, honestly, 15's not a bad stop either way. It could be worth the risk just to get in at 16. MYMD, yep, that's exactly what I wanted to see. We've got support building at 141 here, which is good, or maybe 140, I guess, but the range is kind of like, it's weird to me. It's weird that this gapped up so much and we don't have a lot of data here. MNK is popping back up a little bit. Foxo moved up to about 28.5. Looks like we're probably going to come back down to this 26-cent area and maybe bounce back off. Yeah, EJH, if you're not in, I would suggest probably getting in. I don't think it's going to come back down. It looks like it's bouncing to me. 5 minute looks pretty decent. The 1 minute obviously looks all right. The only thing I can see that kind of shows me it could come back down is obviously we see some selling pressure on this last candle's close, and this one's looking like it might close there as well. We should see yellow opening up. Here it is, 130. We broke up to almost 135, 132. Make sure you take a trim around that yellow 135-ish. Yeah, there's 135 right there. That's exactly where I thought it was going to go to, so we're looking real good right now on this. 138, 139, 140, 141, 140. Taking another trim. Trimming yellow, 144-ish. 144, 145, something like that. I'm sure we'll get there. I mean, we are there anyway, so. Perfect. All right, so we're running out of shares now, but we just played that halt. Looks like to a T. We could see another pop here, which is good because we have a little bit more left on the table, but not a lot. So even if it comes back down, we have to sell somewhere down here. Not the end of the world. MNK still bouncing around. Foxo coming down a little bit. We got yellow 140. MyMed's back down. Yeah, see, my rule book says don't get into this, but I kind of want to anyway. So I don't think I'm going to do it, but this does look like a good setup. It does look like you're building support here to take a chance and then put like a 130. Yeah, that's a pretty big stop if you're going 141. If you can get like 140 and put like a 134 stop, I know that's still fairly big. It's probably a 5% stop right there, but it's still pretty. Yeah, because yeah, you kind of have to. You have to have at least a 134 stop. You need to get your stop below this 20 line. Yell Pop's almost a 150, so it's well past what I thought it was going to do. I was thinking 135 was going to be the top, but we're almost at 150. Whatever the case, we're making money, so. Yeah, can't really complain about that. Foxo drops down to that 26-cent area again, and we see that bounce, which is pretty nice. That's exactly what we want to see. So with EJH, we are back down to the bottom of 16 here. Maybe we do see that breakdown. Actually, it had a really bullish close and then a really poor open on this candle, so I'm kind of curious to see what happens from here on out with this. Although honestly, that bullish close kind of looked like an accident. So just happened to make a really fast push right at the close of that candle. Do you have a lot of buy orders coming in though, which is good. I'm sure we have quite a few sell orders here at 1660. Yeah, pushes that 150 zone. You could trim here again at 150 if you want, or you could wait a little longer. We might make a push to 160. Top back up. So we did talk about maybe getting a re-entry around this 318 area, but I wasn't really ready to do that until about 313, 312. So I still have the original trade, but I don't have more of it. EJH looks like it... To me, this definitely looks like it wants to break down further, but it's just not doing it yet. Yeah, 154. Looking good there. MYMD's down. So this is exactly why I said you need to have your stop at like 134 below the 20. So like now we're seeing this possible bounce off this area, right? So hopefully if you got in around that 140 or lower and your stop is around 134. I don't know what I'm really hoping for on MNK because we already got our 140 trim. I probably could trim more here, but I kind of want a break at least to 145. My fingers are not on the right buttons. There we go. Oops, not yellow. I mean, you could also probably put a yellow line somewhere around there. We'd have to, yeah, pretty close to there, but yeah, 145 is kind of what I'm looking for. Top's actually moved up quite a bit. The 5-minute shows we could still move up more, but we do not have a lot of buying pressure above this 330 points. So yells at 156 and halted again. I should have taken the trim here, but I missed it. So yeah, we're breaking down 137. We've got a low of 136 on MYMD. I'm invested, but I'm not in it. Back up to 140. I want to see if this would have panned out. Gotta play by my own rules, but sometimes you kind of get screwed by them too. What's NQ doing? NQ took a nasty drop this morning down to 1823. Or sorry, 15,823. CHNR, it's looking good that we didn't bother to touch this because, like, as we said, it's going to break down to the dead zone and it's not going to come back easily. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. It's breaking down. Will we find support? Yeah, we might. Wow, that VWAP looks real weird on the stock. So little volume normally. We might stop around this 230 area and maybe see a bounce, but again, it's kind of a wait and see scenario. So EJH is back up. We're kind of, so far we're consolidating around the 16 cent area. It doesn't look like it wants to drop below that. All right, so rulebook wins this time. It breaks down to 134, so it's a good thing it didn't take it. Yell halted 706, so we're looking at like a 711 on halt. Still got like 3 minutes. Besides that, there's not really a lot worth taking any more trades on, it looks like. We still have Foxo. Yeah, Foxo's not looking bad. EJH we're also in, but hasn't really made a move much of anywhere. We almost got 17, but not quite. Yell we're running out of shares on. And top, it's going to be a while, I think, before we hit 340. I think there's a good chance we hit 340, but could be a while. Getting pinged all over the place, just trying to catch up. Yeah, EJH at 16, yeah. That's where I'm at. Wow, top actually moved right up to 340 there, so that's our trim. Trimming top, 340. What's our next goal? I think we have to somehow make it to 350. EJH still bouncing around. We are just about there on Yell for an unhalt. We're looking at 1 more minute maybe. I say maybe because we don't actually know if it's a 5 minute or a 10 minute. Foxo broke down to 25 there for a brief second. We'll see if we get a bounce. MNK's going, so I guess it was a good idea to hold. We actually pushed to 145, okay. Trimming MNK, 145. This actually ended up being a pretty decent win, actually. That's more so than I thought it was going to be. We got a little bit left. We could probably push it to 150. Are we going to get 150? There's actually a pretty good chance that we do. We could bounce right off this 138 support and continue on our way up to... We might even be able to push up to 153, 154. Come on, just hit 17. That's our first trim at 17. Man, I had it right on it there. Close enough. So Yell unhalts at 156. It comes down a little bit. We do see it drop down to 138. It is making its way back up. I'm hoping we see 160. We might even see higher because we just got out of a halt. I'm sure we've got lots of orders stacking. At least I hope we do. 123 on the buy side, which is huge. We'll see though. It's looking pretty iffy still. I am seeing lots more buy order. Oh, never mind. There's a lot of sell orders up here around this 150 point. There's like 350 sell orders there. We will see. We hit 17 cents on EJH. We actually moved up to 17 and a half. So make sure you take a trim. Next one's 18, of course. Close enough. Top's doing its thing. MNK. Yeah, it's still looking good. We did see that bounce off the support. EJH is down a little bit. Yell still holding on. MYMD is breaking down. NQs, yeah, it's moved up quite a bit. Could get rejected off VWAP here. It looks like it's getting rejected off Toro bands right at 15,860. Back down it goes. MNK does look like it wants to break out. If we see a new high, we could see another pop. Come on. Any second now. Nope, can't do it. Will it retest? Yellow 147, so that's not bad. 148, kind of climbed back up there. 153. EJH still doing its thing. Top still doing its thing. MNK, we're still hoping to see that break of 145 so we can maybe make our exit at 152. 150 to 152 would be great. No, rejection. All the way back to the 138 support. Yeah, 152. It does look like it wants to break out. Still lots of selling pressure. We're seeing kind of a mixed bag here of orders, but possibly... No, still a lot of sellers. Keep getting rejected off this level. MNK from 144 down to 137, back up a little bit here, so that support looks like it's holding. Yell's doing okay. We need to eat up those sell orders though and make that push. We've got lots of buy orders coming in here around this 148 level, so we'll see if we can hold. Foxo down to that area of support here. Does look like it stopped us out on this candle, but I didn't get the order confirmation. The low was 25 flat, so it should have. But it didn't. Let's see if it does it this time. Because it looks like it's going to touch again. Or not. This is boring to watch. EJH is back down. But you know what? The bands are consolidating quite nicely here. I don't think we're going to move back down. And the longer we consolidate here, the better our stop is. Because we've got that 200 kind of creeping up. So if we could just hold a couple, maybe another 10-15 minutes, I think this 200 is going to be up high enough that our stop should be relatively safe. Top finally breaks out here up to 348. I'm going to take that trim. I'm just going to cut the whole thing here because we don't have a lot of time left. So the rest of top 348. Solid win on top. That was a 313 to about 348. So there's 350 right there. 353. I should have held a little bit. 355. God damn it. Oh well, it's a win. Did get stopped out of Foxo. Yell's back down a little bit. But you could probably close out Yell anywhere here. It looks like it's consolidating. It'll probably make a move back down. It might make it down to the 20 here, 136. It could make it down to VWAP at 121. So either one's a possibility. And I'm okay with cutting this around that 150 mark just because we're already up quite a bit on this. And I don't really need more. So that one was from like 98 cents to $1.52 or something. Could have had $1.56 at the top, but yeah, it didn't get that far. Man, tough. That was a nice push. 355. EJH is down, so we just had to hold a couple more minutes, but those bands were coming in really tight. It was going to make a move one direction or another, and it chose the wrong one. Will we get stopped out or will it bounce? We have a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of room here. It'll probably stop us out, but would not be opposed to this running again. Yeah, no, we stopped out on EJH here, so we made no money on that. I think that's actually, yeah, that's going to be a loss. That's a lot in fees. That's actually like almost $1,000 in fees for me. So I'm going to be starting a fresh account. It's the 31st today, right? Yeah. Yeah, so we'll start a fresh account for tomorrow because this one's getting pretty big anyway. What are we in? We've got MNK. Well, we got a little bit of MNK. Foxo's out. Top's out. Yell's out. Yeah, so AGH is out. So I think we're really just looking at MNK for a push to 152, but I don't honestly think we're going to get there in the next couple minutes, so we might just call it a day a couple minutes early here. Yeah, because I don't think I'm gonna try anything else. Foxo still has a potential, but again, I'm gonna be waiting a while. Taking it off this 24 is probably the next best trade you're probably gonna find for a while on this, unless you're hoping to see us down to like 20 or 19 cents. We've got CHNR here, still breaking down to. I think it could come down to this 230 point, but it's really hard to tell down here. You might actually end up having to wait a little bit longer. Yeah, because there's really no date. Like, it's so spotty and there's no volume down here, so really none of it matters. MNK. Again, the range on this isn't fantastic, but if you can get in lower, and we might see a push to a new high. You never know. EJH, yeah, like I said, it could bounce off the 200 here. Our stop just wasn't there. It wasn't low enough, but if you're looking for a trade, this looks like a half decent area. 14.66 is the area I'd be looking to maybe get in at. Yell, I think Yell's up pretty high. It might come back up. It could break a new high. I think the odds are it probably doesn't. Not for a while anyways. Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably be focusing my attention on MNK and Yell and EGH. I think EGH has it in it to do it again. Top obviously is going to come back down for consolidation. Now you could try a 328 entry or around 328 to 330. Most of the supports in this area, but we have seen it consolidate around this 313 area too, which is why I was kind of more concerned with this area. But since we broke a new high here, I think it's safe to say that 328 would be okay to consolidate around. Besides that, we will go over the trade tracker if it's working, which it looks like it is, even though it's a different color on some of the pages. But so we made 37K today. It's 4.5% on the port. What did I mess up there? Hopefully nothing. Drag something. Hate when I do that. 75% win rate, so not doing too bad on that. So our monthly thing was 96 wins and 32 losses, 128 trades this month. So that's actually really low. I remember during the bull market, we were hitting like 350, 400 trades a month. We've had to become a little more selective with that, which is, I guess, not a bad thing, but yeah. We hit 100% today, so that's good. EJH is a 0%, but we still lost almost $1,000 on this just in fees. So, yeah, that one ended up hurting. SPCB was a 4.6% loss. I don't even remember trading that. That must have been really early. And ALLR for 2.2, but we got Yell for 55%, which was definitely our biggest win. MNK, which I didn't think was going to get us very much, ended up getting us 12%, and TUP for 10%. So those are two trades I didn't actually think were going to pan out to be as big as they ended up being. And TUP looks like it's still kind of going here. EJH, we did see that a little bit further of a dip, right down to that 20 here. So this is kind of the area that, if it breaks down from here, yeah, you might be waiting for a while to get into this. But yeah, other than that, guys, I'm going to let you go. Enjoy the rest of your trading day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care, guys.